Apologies for the late show today. I suffered a pretty major computer crash this morning here at MJ Today Media and lost a few hours getting a backup computer up and running. Fun times. This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at Ease, the leading online on-demand marketplace for legal California medical marijuana delivery. With the rollout of adult use legalization right around the corner in California, Ease has been working overtime to make sure their system is ready. Regular listeners know how complicated things are in the Golden State in terms of which cities and municipalities are fully prepared for adult use legalization, and that picture only gets more complicated when you add in delivery services. Ease has a team of legal experts who've been poring over the different rules and regulations in the markets they're active in so that when their customers place an order for delivery in the new year, they'll have all the information they need to know about their options. Put that power to work for you by opening up ease.com and checking out what's available in your local area. That's ease.com, which is spelled E-A-Z-E. Ease.com. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Friday, December 15th, 2017, and you're tuned in to episode 394 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Our top story of the day is the end of the internet as we know it. Yesterday, the Federal Communications Commission voted by a count of 3-2 to do away with net neutrality, the idea that internet service providers should treat all internet traffic the same without showing favoritism to any one kind of service. The vote was split along partisan lines, with Republican members voting to trash every good thing about the internet that we know. The FCC is led by Commissioner Ajit Pai, a former Verizon attorney appointed by President Donald Trump, who's made it pretty clear that his job at the FCC is to hand over control of the internet to his corporate masters. And yesterday, he was successful. If his plundering of internet freedom is left untouched, your ability to freely browse the internet however you like will be curtailed starting in the new year. This will be disastrous for small publishers like MJ Today Media, who lack the resources to ensure that our content will be delivered to you at the same rate and speed as larger, richer media outlets. And as Ben Adlin over at Leafly nicely shows, the negative fallout of the repeal of net neutrality could hurt the marijuana industry, due to the fact that federal law still considers cannabis to be illegal. Please take a few minutes today to read Ben's story and then contact your local representative to tell them that they need to do something to overturn the FCC's terrible, no good, very bad decision. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Denver law enforcement officials were busy yesterday with the shuttering of one of the city's largest marijuana dispensary chains, Sweetleaf. Police closed down every Sweetleaf dispensary in Denver, of which there are 10, while also making 12 arrests in a case they say involved selling marijuana outside established legal channels. The city's Department of Excise and Licensing also revoked the company's 26 business and cultivation licenses. Police say they've been investigating the company for the past year, with a Sweetleaf spokesperson telling the Westward magazine that they were surprised by the raids and that they would be fully cooperating with authorities. This is a fairly late-breaking story, so I'm sure we'll be touching back in on things as more information is released. Our final top story of the day is the news that Denver-based marijuana software developer Baker, which helps cannabis businesses handle their customer engagement flow, just raised $8 million in Series A funding to help expand their operations in California. The round was led by cannabis investment firm Poseidon Asset Management, with participation from a number of more traditional Silicon Valley venture capital firms. Baker has had a great year so far, with their revenues growing a reported 600% since January. The company says they plan on expanding their operations into California with the opening of an office in Los Angeles. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Ease, the leading online on-demand marketplace for legal California medical marijuana delivery. Right now, Ease is limited to delivering to registered medical marijuana patients in California, but come January 1st, they'll be branching out to handle adult use orders as well. That sounds simple enough, but when you consider that different California cities have different rules set up for medical and adult use marijuana, it gets a bit more complicated. With some cities allowing for only medical deliveries while others ban the delivery of marijuana entirely, it's easy to get caught in the weeds of the different rules and regulations. But with ease, you don't need to worry about that because they're putting in the footwork to make sure their platform knows all about how different places are handling cannabis delivery. When you open up ease.com on January 1st as a customer, you'll find out all the information you need to know regarding the availability of marijuana delivery in your particular area. That's powerful stuff. Take advantage of the hard work being put in by Ease's team of legal experts by opening up ease.com. That's spelled E-A-Z-E. Ease.com. All right, time for the Blitz. Canadian licensed medical marijuana provider Aphria just announced a new financing deal worth just over $100 million Canadian, or $77 million US. The company expects to close on the deal by January 9th and will use the proceeds to build out their cultivation and processing capabilities with an eye on expanding into international markets. More information is trickling out of Alaska about the recent shutdown of marijuana edibles processor Frozen Buds, which is being accused of selling moldy products in addition to a number of other violations, including using marijuana not tracked by the state system and producing and selling edibles that did not go through proper testing protocols. In response, Frozen Buds co-owner Nick Need blamed confusing state regulations and software bugs. Yesterday, the state of Maryland approved operating licenses for 12 more medical marijuana dispensaries, who joined the 8 already cleared to open. But as the Baltimore Sun is reporting, many of those newly approved shops say they're going to wait to open their doors until the state's supply of medical marijuana is a little more certain. As I've reported on in recent weeks, the newly opened industry was hit with cannabis shortages caused by the small number of cultivators who are fully up and running. Alan Brockstein over New Cannabis Ventures published a good story on Leafly highlighting 7 warning signs that investors should have picked up on in regards to putting money into MassRoots, the cannabis-focused social media platform / point-of-service provider / compliance / delivery concierge service that has blown through more than $50 million in investment in the 4 short years it's been up and running. I've reported on MassRoots a number of times in recent weeks and months as the company has been very publicly brawling with its founder Isaac Dietrich, who just managed this week to wrest control of the board of directors, installing himself back as CEO after being fired. Another good one to open up for the full read. This past weekend, my buddy Johnny Green over at Weed News wrote about a full-sized faux marijuana Christmas tree available for sale via Walmart's website. A number of other media outlets picked up on the Weed News story, some without acknowledging Johnny's work, I should point out, which seemed to have brought the cannabis product to the attention of Walmart executives, because the Miami Herald was reporting that the marijuana Christmas tree has been pulled from Walmart.com as of Wednesday. Chicago citizens will go to the polls in March to vote on a non-binding referendum asking if they support the legalization of adult-use marijuana. Cook County commissioners voted on Wednesday to place the adult use legalization question before voters, asking if they support the taxation and regulation of adult use marijuana for people ages 21 and older. And finally for today, Slate has a story up about a University of Georgia football player who was arrested for marijuana possession after being pulled over by police while driving with friends. This is a story you really need to click over to, if only to see a photograph of the cannabis that caused the arrest. The marijuana found in the car is about 25% the size of a U.S. penny, which is helpfully included in the photograph for scale. Seriously, the cannabis seized would just barely cover Abe Lincoln's face on the 1-cent coin. Thankfully, the charges against linebacker Natrese Patrick were dropped, but he still had to go through the process of being arrested for what amounts to a light coating of cannabis dust. This is why legalization is important. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again Monday morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at MJTodayDaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says, Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in, starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.